I believe it's generally acknowledged now that I broke Princess Superstar on this show, and she's since had, you know, successful single and album. I'm trying to do the same here with Nerd. In Search Of is the name of the album. Released on April the 8th, or should I say re-released. Some of us had it a while back, Rick, you may recall. They've obviously worked as hip-hop, you know, remixers and producers with Jay-Z, with P. Diddy, with Khalees, ODB. Khalees features on the album. That was called Things Are Getting Better, and it's dynamite. It's worth getting.
I've been trying to break Bob Dylan, haven't I, and Radiohead and all those.
Yep. How are you getting on?
Alright, yeah, doing well. Make It With You. Great track, isn't it?
It is a good track.
You can't argue with that.
I think Bread defies slightly my test, don't they? The Ladies and Gentlemen, Please Welcome to the Stage. Because Bread is a pretty awful name, and yet obviously they were very successful.
Oh, they're pretty big. I think they, yeah. You're not confusing it with the, sitcom.
I'm afraid I often
Joey.
do. I always associate the two, and that's never a good thing.
Yeah. Game's getting hard, 'cause someone's dealing you a losing card.
Was that recorded by Bread?
I think so, the cast of, yeah, I think so, yeah.
Right.
Win it. So the game, yeah, something like that, yeah. Bread. Bread.
I bet you love. Look at his face lighting up.
Did you like Bread?
You tell him an Aesop fable, he's not interested. You sing the theme to Bread.
Yeah, little manx like the scally sort of Scouser sort of ways.
Manx don't like the Scousers.
Why not? Why can't they live together? Why can't they all live together?
I tried, and then when I went to where's that place they have flies the size of? You can't get them in a matchbox.
Well, most newsagents don't put flies in matchboxes. I mean, what do you mean you can't get in a matchbox? You mean buy them at a tobacconist's?
No, I remember being there and thinking, God, the flies are big here.
What?
I can't remember, but anyway, there was a Scouse bloke there.
What, a country? Or
Yeah, abroad.
Right, okay.
Flies are massive. And there was a Scouse bloke there, and I was quite happy to let things, you know, we don't get on, but I was like, I'm on holiday, we're in the same town, let's get on. Yeah. And he couldn't stand me. Name was Alan. I think he lives in London now. Couldn't be doing with him.
What did he do?
He just was like, oh, I bet you like Man United, and it's like, well, yeah. And it's like, oh, they're rubbish. And going on about, my town's dark. It's like, well, when did you go? If it was the winter, it would have been.
Yeah.
He's an idiot.
Well, I'm glad you got that off your chest.
I've never seen Carl like this.
He was annoyed there.
I say, Alan, if you're listening, you've really riled Carl. You do not want to get on the wrong side of Pilkington.
Anyway, that's pretty much it, isn't it, for this week, Carl?
That's a lot.
It is indeed. What's your song?
Song for the ladies this week, taking on from your Bread, really. Same kind of low, you know, acoustics kind of sound. It's, Kings of Convenience, Toxic Girl, beautiful track.
Just got time for this.
Bye-bye.
Yeah. See you later.
See you next time.
Yeah.
Doves, caught by the river. People are going to think you're thick, Carl.
Well, they can think what they want, because if they do their own research, they'll probably find the story. Because it won't have happened that many
Carl,
times.
think about it. I mean, how could an old woman have a pork chop stuck to her ass for 5 years?
She said she couldn't remember even making one, so she was as surprised as the doctors were.
But, hold on though, she presumably must have sat on it naked.
Yeah.
Didn't that bring back any memories?
I know it's weird, but...
Carl.
But why would it stay there? Why wouldn't it fall off when she had a bath or a shower?
Grease! What about a bath?
But why didn't the doctor realise that when he first looked at it?
Yeah.
Was he not paying attention when he said, I think it's a tumour?
Carl, listen, think about it. A pork chop stuck to your ass for 5 years. You're naked, you sit on a pork chop, you go, nothing. You know, there's nothing weird about that. I can't feel anything. Even if you had a dead leg, the time you that pork chop, what else you got dressed?
Well, she might have not have done that much. She's old, she probably just sat down and didn't move for a bit, and over time it's stuck, and then... What
do you mean over time it's stuck? Do you think the longer something there, the more it stays there?
Look, I know that's why
the pork chop goes, well, we've been here a year, we're not going to move now. I don't think we're going to move now, I'm quite, you know, attached to this buttock. I think I'll stay here for another 4 years until some doctor works it out.
I love the idea they got her into hospital, they gave her the bed baths, they got her ready for the operation, they laid her out. They were just right to take get the scissors or the knife, make the incision, hang on a minute.
This is a pork
Bring me a frying pan.
This is a pork chop. Right.
Crazy,
well, okay, well if you're happy with it, then I'm happy with it. Fine.
Right,
that happened then. So did the shaved monkey who got off with a wife. Fine.
Rockbusters then, we've got a problem with the email this week.
Yeah.
So
least of our problems, I think.
They're not coming through, so I'll give out the clues again, and then you can call in on 08700.
Only call if you know all three, you can rattle them off.
Yeah.
We'll do it during the next record, so the number is...
08700 800 1234. Right. 08700 800 1234.
Right, okay, so you got that. So call in if you know all three.
Yeah, the three, just to recap. I've got 3 other jumpers like this one, the initials FT. That bunch of people can't make up their minds if they want to sit in the sun or not, right? That's C. And the Jamaican fella had some aspirin. Why did he do that? Right? That's FD. So if you know them, give us a call, and it's just the first with the 3
right,
correct
well, I
answers.
think they're calling now, Carl. So play a lovely record and take some phone calls, and let's get this.
Do you want to play this old Lulu track?
Oh yeah, don't laugh when you hear Lulu, because this is A Man Who Sold the World by David Bowie. It's a good version. Pretty in Pink. Psychedelic Furs on XFM 104.9. I'm Ricky Gervais with me, Steve Merchant. And our little pet monkey, Carl Pilkington. Carl, so 20 quid, tenner each, me and Steve will pay good money. All right, we'll see you all right. I reckon even Andrew Phillips, the head of XFM, would probably give you an extra 20 quid if this is entertaining as I think it will be to the listening public. Just undo my lace, and Steve are going, Carl's now just gently undoing the lace.
Yeah.
He's releasing the tongue of the shoe.
Well, don't preempt anything.
Okay.
So come round then, Carl.
He's gently pulling down the sock.
What, you just said you'd do it for £20.
Oh, come on!
You didn't do it for £20.
You said you'd do it. Oh, so you work me up like that, and then you just... Come on, and take my shoe and socks off, and put it down, and pull the sock down slowly, and go, what lovely ankles.
No, because we had that chat yesterday about
Come on,
this,
Carl,
right?
you just said you'd do it.
Yeah, but I don't really need... If it was more money, I might do it.
Oh, that is typical!
Okay, firstly, we had a little wage at the Sonys, and you owe me £10, so count my £10 as part of that.
Exactly.
So that's my £10, so you already owe me that anyway, so I'm demanding that instead of giving me the cash, you do this.
Yeah, and I'll
give
you 10 quid, just because I've got a bad back, and I need someone to help me take my shoe and sock off. Because I think I'm getting that airplane thing where my feet are swollen up.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Well, you've been auditioning people for that job, haven't you, all week?
Come on.
No, I ran it past Suzanne last night, right, because I knew you were going to do this, right? And I said, would you be annoyed if, I know we need a new kitchen and that.
Yeah.
But can I leave it? And she said, it's up to you. You do what you want to do.
But we're not interested in what Suzanne thinks.
Yeah, well, I don't
Carl,
wanna...
you just said that you would do it for £20. We are offering you £20.
Just to take, I mean, I assume you'd take that off as a mate. If I twisted my ankle playing football and I hurt my back, I go, take my shoe and sock off, and you go, yeah, no worries, mate. I assume you'd do that for a mate who'd hurt his ankle.
Yeah, but it's not the same, is it?
Toya bound Wayne Sleep's foot when he was bouncing on his bed and hurt his ankle. She didn't expect money from it. She didn't want Sleep to pay out money. The singer of Mystery does not need Wayne Sleep, probably our greatest dancer since Lionel Blair, to pay money to help his ankle out. I thought we were mates.
It seems to me that you've already lost us a Sony this week. The very least you could do is bend down now.
Take your shirt off.
Let's move on.
No, come on, Carl, seriously, we've got to do this.
Take the shirt and sock off.
I'm not doing it. It's
Carl!
Why not?
I'm so angry.
Yeah, because you said you would. You've welched on the £1,000 showering with Johnny. Johnny doesn't even know about this, so Johnny's probably lost out on money. I suppose you'd split some up with him for having the shower with you to get you the money in the first place. So...
The problem is this, Carl. People now are listening, expecting to hear this.
That's why we didn't win awards, because you'd never go through with it.
You've promised them something and you're not going through with it.
Play a record.
You're just like all the girls I speak to. That's Across the Great Divide from the band. Rick, I bought a little treat for myself today. I've been meaning to buy these ever since I moved to London.
Yeah.
I'm sure everyone listening has seen them. Maybe you don't have them in your own collection. Carl, I don't know if you've come across them in the past. But it's the postcards. Now, most of you, if you're a tourist in London, you see the postcards there. I think there's one with a punk, isn't there, with green hair?
Yeah, from 1977.
Yeah, I think there's one which is like probably...
it's probably a grandfather now.
Probably something like A View from London at Night, and it's just black.
Oh yeah,
that's a classic.
I'm a fan of the baby covered in spaghetti.
Yeah, that's
brilliant. Brilliant. That happens a lot in London, and the old East End.
Exactly.
Get the baby out. Where's the spaghetti? Yeah, brilliant.
A wonderful memory of London.
Yeah,
But I was thinking to myself, how would I best want to remember London?
Yeah.
If I were a
tourist from Prague, maybe.
Exactly. You're a tourist from Prague. You want to send something home
to your nan.
To your nan.
To Mama Tchaikovsky.
Exactly.
Who's sitting at home eating beetroot.
Yeah. You want to say I've been to London, I've been to the home, the birthplace of some of the great names.
Dickens.
Dickens, yeah. I've seen, Big Ben, I've seen the Houses of Parliament, I've seen the wonderful things. The best way for me to remember that is a picture of a woman's breasts.
Yeah.
With pictures of cats painted on them. I've brought
They are the most grotesque things.
You've seen these before, Carl?
They're awful.
You can find these on any postcard stack.
It's just a woman's breast drawn a face on it. I think it is that all the breast from London.
So there's all the breast from London, and the other one, Carl, I think you've got there. What does it say? What's the little tag?
We're a couple of swells.
We're a couple of swells.
But it's just. When were that? I mean, they've been around as long as I've been in London. I just don't know. I don't know who took them. Maybe the woman. I should
just point this out, incidentally. If you've not seen them, don't think that it's a topless woman. It's just a disembodied breast.
Yeah.
Or in the case of a couple of swells, two breasts.
I know. And it's just awful. It looks like a snapshot. But what worries me is that what happened was that she was probably the equivalent of Carl, and she had two mates, and they went, look, how much would it, if we take your breast, how much would you do it for? 20 quid.
Yeah.
And they took a picture.
Yeah.
And,
right.
you know.
How much would it cost for us to paint some faces on them, and then take a picture?
Yeah. Oh, that's awful.
I always wondered to myself who that person is.
Oh, probably came to London to get into modelling or something.
I think if you pan further down, she's actually wearing a pair of your pants.
I think if you pull out, she'd probably be unconscious with a needle hanging out of her arm.
But I just imagine... See, now that would be a fair representation of London.
XTC and senses working overtime. In the present climate, they should be happy with the work. On XFM 104.9, I'm Ricky Gervais, with me Steve Merchant and Carl Pilkington. Carl, you're poised there. I know what you're dying for. I know what you're dying to do now. You're dying to play some adverts, aren't you?
XFM. Radiohead. They're their new single.
Nice.
On XFM 104.9. Now listen, some DJs are a little bit lazy. They get playlisted, or they get people to phone in with requests. I mean, they sort of work out what they're going to say. Now, we choose our records, don't we? But we are very lazy.
Yes.
So I thought, why don't the people phone in, say, what do you want us to talk about?
Clever.
Yeah?
Clever.
I mean, because I'm out of stuff. I know I didn't come in with any stuff anyway, but I mean, I'm out of just...
Yeah.
What's the number, Carl?
Sorry, are you out of breath, having finished that sentence?
No, I've been squeezing his head.
Ah, right. Fine, as long as there's a decent reason.
What I do, my technique, I'm only allowed to squeeze his head between 1 and 3, aren't I, Carl?
Yeah, that's right.
And what I do is, I get ready, there's one I do the clamp, either side of the temple, and I squeeze. And that's dangerous, because I think the head isn't as strong that way, so I don't go too fast. But then when I put one on the forehead and one on the back of the head, and I squeeze, I go really hard, don't I?
So do call in with stuff to talk about on 08700 800 1234.
See, I don't know what Dr. Fox is talking about. I can't believe any of the award winners have ever spoken about the various techniques to use while squeezing a person's head.
And then phone in, what should we talk about?
Last tune from us this week, the Eels, Novocaine for the Soul, XFM 104.9.
Yeah, you've been listening to Ricky Gervais, Steve Merchant and Carl Pilkington. Carl, been a good show. Well, I hope you've learned. What have you learned? What have you learned from the last 2 hours that you'll take away with you?
We've talked about a lot of stuff.
Yeah, go on then. But what's sunk in? What? I'd want to know what has sunk in the last 2 hours. We have talked about a lot of stuff, but what will you take away? What will you learn or think about? Like, what resonated for you?
Probably the kid that turned out to be a monkey.
Right, that's
probably up there with them.
Right, now you brought that to the table and it's rubbish, so next. What have you learned? Not what did you say?
Just reminded me that I prefer to watch the people in wheelchairs playing swing ball. That's still sort of floating about.
More your sort of thing as well, more that you brought to the table that you already had in your head that hasn't changed. I'm more thinking of did I hit anything out of your head and replace it with something useful?
Gay people being good parents and that. If gay people had a kid, they'd be good.
You obviously also are now more aware of the difference between determinism and fatalism. Yeah, we're taking that away with you, I'd have thought.
Yeah.
And that animals, if they don't get their rights, you know, they will. What will they do? Will they march, or will they, like, you know, try and stand for office themselves? What do you think they'd do if you say if we didn't allow a chimp to enter, you know, the Tour de France? What do you think we'd do?
Who's going to stop it? Do you know what I mean? Who's going to stop that? I mean, you're asking me if I'd be president, what would I do?
Yeah.
That wouldn't be high up on the list to sort out. I'd say let the kid have a go. Do you know what I mean? Let him have a go in the race. What harm is it doing?
Not a kid though, is he? A chimp?
Well, you know what I mean?
Can I also just remind you of something else we've learnt today?
What?
This is from the listeners. Turns out Chris Moores is a bit of a prick.
Right.
See you next week.
Yeah.
XFM.
All right. Here we are then. 1 o'clock.
Yeah.
Hey.
XFM. I'll tell you what you should play.
No, I'll tell you what, before you say,
Yeah.
we're back then.
Yeah.
We're back in town.
Well, that was what I was going to say. You should
we're
play Boys Are Back in Town.
No,
by
it's this
Thin
is
Lizzy.
Boys Are Back in
You
Town.
should play that then by Thin Lizzy.
Just a sec.
That's Michael Stipe and his boys from Rapid Eye Movement. Bad day, I hope you're not having a bad day. It's Saturday, it's 1:05. I'm Ricky Gervais with me, Steve Merchant and Carl Pilkington on XFM 104.9. Big up and a big thank you to Alex Zane for the last 3 hours.
I could
How
do
long
it.
could you keep going with
That's
that?
it.
That's it?
That is it.
Because you see, Alex Zane, we came in while he was doing his last link, and he's an absolute pro, he really is. I was watching him, and he was, at home, you probably think that he's giving you his full attention. He's not. He was looking through a listings magazine, probably figuring out what movie or theatre piece he's gonna check out, you know, with a lady later.
Yeah,
Probably gonna
yeah.
cruise down there with a couple of, you know, chicks. And he really is an absolute pro.
Yeah.
Looking at you, Ricky, and it's like you can sustain it for a while.
Yeah.
You know, you're a talented performer,
Yeah.
but it's sort of, I don't know what it is. Is it concentration with you? It just ebbs away almost instantly, and you try and do 2 things, 3 things at once, but normally on air that's you eating, picking fluff out of your belly button.
I never once, when we were on the set, we were filming The Office, and I'm trying to put off actors, just coming up ways, instead of, like, member lines, coming up ways to sort of ruin the shot or make them laugh. And you came out and went, Rick, it's like having your own TV show isn't interesting enough for you.
Yeah.
Just concentrate, it's lunch in an hour.
Yeah, yeah.
I went, yeah, alright.
Well, the radio show even less so. I mean,
Well, yeah,
you really
I know.
can't be bored. How long do you think your interest you sustain your interest?
I came
on
in too
average?
early, because I got bored just before we came on air.
Sure, okay.
I came in too early, I got to stop getting the cabs early.
Yeah, so you're bored now,
I think I've got to get about 5 to 1, and then I think that'll last me till about 1:30.
Again, as he was saying that, he's not giving you his attention, he was kind of leaning back, he's put his feet up
I've got
now
to
on
be
the
comfortable,
desk.
haven't I? And this CD rack's in the way.
Sure, well, you get yourself comfortable now, get yourself settled.
And then sort of
Because a lot of people will move the there's the microphone moving
Yeah,
now,
I
that's
know.
the squeaking going
Oh,
on.
I've broken
You've
the
broken the
CD.
CD rack.
I
You could
know.
actually, of course, you could move the CD rack by getting up and moving it. But no, that's too much effort. You've got to try and do that whilst angled on the seat.
I'm nearly laying down.
It's almost horizontal, it's the most you can get.
Well, I'll tell you what. I don't know what those listeners are thinking of what Steve Merchant say, but don't believe a word. Alright?
Oh, nice. Yeah, classy. Classy.
Yeah.
5 minutes past 1 o'clock on XFM 104.9. Ricky Gervais, Steve Merchant, Carl Pilkington. Ryan Adams from his new album Love Is Hell Part 1. That's his version of Wonderwall. Rick, I know what you normally enjoy, about 20 to 2.
Some ads.
You love them. The specials, Rudy, a message to you on XFM 104.9. Still to come, Rick, I know you're excited. Carl puts himself inside a movie this
One
week.
flew over the cuckoo's nest.
One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. Look
I
forward
think
to
you
that.
could, I can imagine him in an institution like that, though.
Not much of a stretch. Let's have some ads. Jayhawks, save it for a rainy day. We had a lot of emails, Rick, saying, is Carl the fat bloke from The Office?
Oh, Keith? No, not at all.
Well,
No.
they wanted
Carl
that
has
answered.
no discerning talent whatsoever. Carl
guy-
presses the buttons.
Yeah, that guy's a funny, sort of comedian.
Yeah.
Incidentally, we've also had an email that says, sack Carl. Your thoughts?
No, it's not worth it. What difference would it make? Do you know what I mean? So alive, Ryan Adams on XFM. We're here by ourselves. Where's Carl, Steve?
Well, if we can get through this link, Rick, there's no need for him whatsoever, because I'm manning the desk, you're over there providing the shtick and the comedy, the laughs, the
Carl
entertainment.
is making us a cup of tea, but he was too late for that even. You know, he's providing very little for the show. I think he's threatened to bring Rockbusters back for one last time.
Looking forward to that enormously.
Yeah. Now, I like Ryan Adams, but I prefer his sort of like melancholy, sort of modern alt country sort of vibe than that one.
Yeah.
Which brings me nicely to this.
Okay.
I got sent a CD in the week.
Yeah.
Right? Just play this.
You want me to play it?
Yeah.
Michael Franti and Spearhead, Everyone Deserves Music on XFM 104.9, giving away some prizes for
That's
the film
what the bosses say. Everyone deserves music at XFM.
Absolutely.
Choose 2 CDs.
Yeah.
Whatever you want.
Well, the two that Carl's chosen are, of course, Kings of Leon's album and The Best of Bob Marley. And Paul from Basildon in Essex, we're going to give you The 25th Hour on DVD, Dr. Terrible's Face Are Horrible, Lord of the Rings, The Fast Show Farewell Tour, and the complete second series of The Office. That's still available in the shops.
Was that on DVD?
That's on DVD.
That's good, yeah.
Plus, I think there's probably a best air guitar album in the world ever as well, which we can throw in, I know. That'd be a big treat.
No DVD of Animals, selling out fast. I couldn't get one myself, so, what about some adverts?
Rick, I know you like to occasionally share your musical tastes with the audience.
Yeah.
And, you know, just talk about what you're raving about at the moment.
Yeah.
But I can't get enough of this Bright Eyes album. I'm wide awake. It's morning. It's brilliant.
Beautiful.
It's beautiful. There's so many great tunes on there. It's one of those albums where it actually holds together as an album. You want to listen to it from the beginning to the end. It's dynamite stuff.
I'd say go out and buy it.
Oh, I recommend it to anyone. Talking of going out and buying stuff, Rick, remember...
Well, you wouldn't know about that.
Well, no, this is why I had to put out that appeal for free stuff. And, you know, we did mention that at the beginning of the first show.
Yeah.
Because, you know, we don't tend to get sent a lot of the usual kind of treats that a lot of radio stations and radio DJs get sent. Certainly we never get sent music, Rick. I mean, we're probably one of the only DJs on this station that's allowed to play their own records.
We're totally unplaylisted.
No one ever sends us any records.
I know, it's unbelievable.
But we do get sent now, I'm pleased to say, some other stuff. And people are now beginning to see that, yes, if you do send us stuff, we will shamelessly plug it. We've just been sent the book of British hit singles and albums.
That's a proper
the new
gift.
edition. A great gift
That is not a CD from an unknown band who pressed it in their garage.
Yeah, exactly.
That is, you know, that is not a, will you review this book I've done about the history of punk?
That is a lovely, I could easily give that as a gift at Christmas time and someone would think that...
Now you're thinking,
exactly.
you're thinking you've saved 25 quid there, aren't you?
Easily.
Well done. Well, look, I mean, it's a lovely day and, you know, if anyone's thinking of having a barbecue, could I suggest, a lovely Banrock Station, wine?
Okay.
If you don't know about, let me tell you about this. You know Tony Charlie, the manager of Banrock Station?
Oh, yeah.
Well, he comments, being an Australian wine brand, we are very much pro the outdoor way of life, enjoying a barbecue with a bottle of wine amongst friends.
Hear, hear.
I agree with Tony Charlie. Yeah. And it's a lovely, lovely
now, do they
fruity
do both red and white wine?
I think they do, but I mean, I love the full-bodied taste of the Banrock Red with maybe a fish dish.
Absolutely.
Although I've made an error. What am I doing drinking red with fish?
Oh, come along. Well, I'll tell you, if you've perhaps finished the barbecue, but you've got some guests round, the night is, you know, it's still a balmy evening, perhaps you'd care for some Hope and Greenwood confectionery.
I would love some. What sort of things are involved in that?
You've got some delicious chocolates from Hope and Greenwood. They do make, and as you can see here, there's a wonderful presentation box.
That is lovely.
So if, again, you need perhaps to take a gift to perhaps a wedding or, you know, someone else's, kind of barbecue party, then, you know, I'd have thought a lovely bottle of Banrock Station and some Hope and Greenwood would be the ideal.
And if you've got anything to shamelessly plug, we've only got 2 weeks left, so please send things that are worth it, things we can drink, eat, you know.
Please do send it in soon.
XFM.